This is the Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show, highlighting all of Section 3, interviewing the greatest local coaches and athletes. Brought to you by SummitCars.com, broadcasting in the ESPN studios. Here's your host, Mike Bristol, and Eagle Newspapers' Phil Blackwell.
All right, here we are on it, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for hanging out with us. We got a couple hours of high school sports action, and then get right into Syracuse Legends programming studio. Phil Blackwell, what's up, Phil?
Oh, it's a busy, crazy time of year. We're already into the sectional playoffs in all the sports, basketball, hockey. We've had sectional championships decided in wrestling and indoor track, and volleyball today has their finals. It's just a busy, and swimming as well today as their state qualifier. So busy time, and a lot in this show too.
All right, we got a great program for you, and Mark Burns is in studio. What's up, Burnsy?
Good morning.
Good to have you. Oh, hold on, sirs. Let me get you a little microphone action. There you go. Put the thing in front of you. What's happening?
Hey, good morning.
Fellow future broadcast chum after you retire from Syracuse Recruiting Battalion, right?
I never rule anything out.
What do you got with us today?
I have Staff Sergeant Petro with us. He heads up our virtual recruiting team.
Oh, nice.
Got a great Army story to share, and
we'll talk about that in a few minutes.
Sure.
All right, we'll get right to it. Phil, let's first of all, we've got our Aflac Spotlight interview members of the Bishop Grimes boys basketball team. My boy Bob McKinney and his crew in studio. They reached the sectional semi-17 last winter. They got to the sectional final before falling to Utica Notre Dame this year. Up and down a bit, 12-13 to stand 14-4. So Bob will be in studio with Steve and David and Gus will be here with him.
Yeah, I mean, Bishop Grimes will be one of the favorites in Class A. They've got a quarterfinal against their neighbors from ESM to play on Tuesday after ESM won their first round game yesterday in the playoffs. As you have Whitesboro, the top seed in Class A, but then you have JD, the number 2 seed. So this is going to be a really good sectionals in Class A.
After that, we've got our SummitCars.com spotlight interview with members of the Liverpool boys bowling team. And last Sunday at Utica's Panorama, it was a particularly close race for the Section 3 Division 1 and Class A boys bowling championships. It came down to the last frame of the last game. Liverpool Warriors were able to hang on and beat the home team. Proctor, I think by 20 pins or 19 pins or something like that?
20 pins out of
Ooh, nice and close.
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk about next month's tournament here. Strike and spare for 1 second. So I know we're going to have most of the Liverpool squad, though, in here. Zach Ormsby, Deacon Roberson, Devin Roberson, Josh Winsons, Logan Herman all be here in studio.
Yeah, I mean, young team, all non-seniors, coached by Bob Perano. You know about him.
Bobby.
And he's coaching baseball at OCC, by the way. And Liverpool was a team that had a good regular season. They went into Panorama. Utica Proctor's the home team, yet they took the lead and they held on for dear life toward the end. Very exciting when you have only 20 pins separate after 6 games, hundreds of shots taken, and it comes down to a couple of them. Pretty exciting stuff, and Liverpool winning the sectional title.
And then right after that, we've got our Wegmans winning spotlight interview. Members of the Jamesville-Dewitt girls basketball team, and this season was really the next chapter for JD girls basketball team. After 3 consecutive state Class A championships and a federation title in 2018, Meg Hare, Jamie Boeheim, Casey Vaughn, all were central figures there in 2018. But now, younger group, really battle-tested Red Rams. They've won another regular season league title amid, think about it, crazy schedule. And they return again to the sectional Class A tournament. Rob Seitchen and his players, Gabby Stickle, Momo LeClaire, Andrea Samita, Paige Keeler, Sydney Baker, all in studio. And my boy Bill O'Keefe from Syracuse Pool and Patio doing some of the assistant work and the JV work.
Well, with JD, this team is a young group that I don't think there's any seniors in their main rotation. But many of those players you talk about, LeClaire and Keeler and Stickle, all had key roles on the state championship last year. It's not like everyone left. But they've really tested themselves this season. They're still ranked, I believe, number 2 in the state. They were behind Pittsford Mendham, one of the teams that did beat them. But I'll tell you, they're still the team to beat until someone can prove otherwise, even if Ludden's up there now, having won something like 13 or 14 straight going into the playoffs.
Burnsy brought me an Army hat. Did he get you one, too? You're going to wear one?
Right,
that's fantastic. He also brought me in some McDonald's coffee, which was which was really good that he did that. So that was nice of him. So when Phil and I, when we get back, we're going to talk to Mark Burns. We're going to take a couple-minute break, and then we're going to go right through all of our high school sports action. We're also going to be talking to his boy in the house, Petro. What's your first name? Brian Petro, who's from Olean?
I'm from Nunde, New York.
Okay, here, grab the microphone for 1 second. Nunde.
Yeah, it's a really small town by Fillmore, New York. It's really at the southern tip of where Letchworth State Park is.
Did you go to the park a lot?
Yeah, I grew up walking around that park a lot.
Jogging, running, doing your thing.
Jogging, running, getting into all kind of mischief and trouble
In that place.
All right. We're right. All right, we'll be right back. ESPN Radio 97.7, 100.1.
This is the Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show, brought to you by SummitCars.com.
All right, here we are back on it, ladies and gentlemen. Inside High School Sports Show. Mark Burns and Sergeant Petro in studio. And Burnsy, what's going on? Let's get right to it. First of all, how was the National Football Foundation?
You know what? I'm glad I was able to come in today and talk about that. You know, we support it. We support two great organizations, ESPN High School Sports and the National Football Foundation. And one of the VPs from there brought this into me that the chapter award winner for outstanding contribution to amateur football was Inside High School Sports.
Yeah, that's great.
It was. I said, well, you know,
that.
they got good taste. That makes it easier when I go back and want more money to advertise on the show. There's now an award-winning show.
Here we go.
But the week after that, we did the New York State High School Football Coaches Association.
That's great.
Annual clinic was out at Turning Stone.
Yep.
And the colonel got to come in and spoke to about 600 coaches. Of course, the head coach of the Lions was there. He had to open for them. So I know that coach had a tough act to follow, my boss. Right. And Dino was there speaking. But it was we got a great response. Had about 60, 70 coaches come up and ask for some help from our fine young non-commissioned officers. So it was good.
Very impressive. So, Sergeant Petro, what's going on? Tell us a little bit about what's happening here in Syracuse now. So you're in the Cuse.
Yeah, so I moved to Syracuse in January.
Yeah.
I was stationed down in Olean, New York.
Yep.
Part of the Southern Tier Recruiting Company. And then USREC decided that they're going to go with a more dynamic advertising platform in our social media networks. So I interviewed for the position. They decided I was a good fit, and I come up here to head that. Yeah.
All right. So what's been going on here? You're working side by side this cat, or what?
Yeah. So I work with Mark quite a bit on different platforms as far as the advertising is concerned. Some creation, building some of our own local advertising here for the Syracuse area, because it is a different area. You know, national advertising doesn't always work in some places. So we're able to really modernize what we're doing locally and bring it up to speed with what the rest of the Army is doing.
I wanted to find somebody at least 2 decades younger than me to deal with social media.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
All right, so what have you learned? What have you kind of been engaged with, and how has it gone so far?
So it's going really well. We're trying to expand our footprint as far as our social media following, and we're trying to open up more of the unknowns about the Army. You know, things that most people don't think about it, they don't understand it. It doesn't come out in the limelight because the Army is not really one of those organizations that goes out and tries to put all of the things that we do out there on a regular basis, because a lot of stuff that we do, you know, we are professionals and we don't do it for the recognition. And the downside of that is that people don't see it. They don't understand that's what they were doing. So that's one of the things that we're trying to do, is bring a lot of that stuff to light.
Some of the national initiatives are tying into that. They've now got a fitness team that's going to travel more than just a physical fitness, but a holistic fitness with nutrition like that. Soldiers traveling, plus an e-gaming initiative.
Oh, tell me about that, because I know everybody is so big into like the virtual reality stuff, the gaming systems, all that kind of stuff.
So the Army has always had this program. It's called it's similar to sports teams, and you may have seen this. We had soldiers on the Olympic bobsled team, and we've got wrestlers and things like that.
Love it. Yep.
We've got the Army shooting team. Well,
Army band, you got everything.
Army band. Yeah. But what we're missing is that whole new concept of competition, and it's really been blowing up the past decade or so, is competitive video gaming.
Esports.
And the Army never really embraced it at all, but we're into this generation now where the majority of soldiers have a gaming system at home. We play competitively online, and I play Call of Duty online. I was top 500 in the world.
Not that you would brag or anything like that.
No, very humble guy right here, very humble. But they decided, you know what, we've got all these competitive teams. This is another aspect that we can bring in. Let's bring in these competitive gaming teams. Let's get on that board. So they did. They jumped on it. The USREC commanders and the Army leaders have decided this is a good way to go. And they're really promoting this really hard. And they're in multiple different games like PUBG and Call of Duty and some of the other games that are out there for the competitive nature. I love it. Very, very cool. So, Bernsey, what else going on? What's going to fill us in with?
Well, just the caveat on what he said. When you look at the folks, less than 1 out of every 4 that wander into our recruiting station are qualified for enlistment for a myriad of reasons. We're really using e-gaming and some other things, the social media, to reach out to our market. The old days where we could just sit and do a boiler room with
Not anymore.
calls and things like that, or show up at the schools. There's so many ways now to do outreach. So I mean, we're bringing in trying some new things, ready to pass the gauntlet. Not that we're not going to continue to advertise on the radio, but we are going to augment that and leverage that
Everybody
with social media.
Everybody is. All right. Well, guys, thanks for coming in. Great to have you guys in here.
Yeah.
Army Syracuse Battalion and Sergeant Petro hooking us up with plus you're a basketball coach.
Yeah,
and you want to get back into hoops, right?
Oh, I would love to take another assistant coaching job.
Yeah, we got to
somewhere.
get you hooked up.
Tour in Afghanistan, tour in Iraq, too.
Come on, really?
I did 3 in Afghanistan and 1 in Iraq.
What was that like, real quick?
It's different.
Yeah.
You kind of put aside all the stuff that we deal with here in the United States on a regular basis. Fuel for the car, insurance, registration, all that. You don't have to worry about all those things, and all you focus in is the combat. It does make it a little bit simpler on a day to day, but you're detached from everything.
Yeah.
You do miss your family. You miss small things like we miss eating a cheeseburger.
Yeah,
that's one of the things.
Right.
We think about the foods we're going to eat when we get back. But it's hard to explain because it's just a completely different living style and way of going about your day. And the best thing that the Army does is they train you in resiliency.
Yeah.
No matter what happens, you keep moving forward. Mm-hmm. And that's what really keeps you going in those situations is, it's sometimes it's bad, living conditions suck sometimes, but for the most part, it's not bad. You're there with your friends. You're not there alone.
Yeah,
you're in
good.
the suck with other people. We're all going through the same thing, and it makes it feel a little different.
That's good. All right, we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. We're going Bishop Grimes Hoops. And thanks to the guys for coming in studio. So we'll be right back. This is the Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show, presented by SummitCars.com.
This is the Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show, brought to you by SummitCars.com.
All right, here we are back on it, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in thus far. Mike Bristol, Phil Blackwell, and it's great having Philly B setting all this stuff up. So our good friend, Mr. Bob McKinney, Bishop Grimes. What's going on, Coach?
How you doing, Michael?
Get closer to me. I know you want to give me a fist bump, but
it's a good fist bump.
It was a nice one. All right, so Phil and I were chatting before the program. First and foremost, let me think here. So 2017, you reached the sectional semis, right, in 17? Yeah.
Was that last year? Yeah.
Last year.
2 years
2
ago.
years ago. And then last winter, you got to the final. You got to the sectional finals before falling to Utica or Notre Dame.
Yep.
So now you've won last 12 of 13. You're 14-4. You're getting rolling here. So Tom,
that's 15, Mike.
15. Oh, sorry. Here, let me just scratch that on right now. Phil, you can't take it. Even what? Yeah, you and Coach Boeheim, you can't take that away. All right. So tell me about the team. How you feel?
Well, we're excited. This time of the year, we all like to have fun. It's the best time of the year in basketball. I think the A's and double A's we were just talking are going to be very exciting. There's a lot of teams I think that can win it in each class. We have a veteran crew. These guys are all there last year and played a significant role. So we're excited to be back, and we're going to try to get a game better, a game at a time, and that's all you can do this time of year. And you hope you don't pick a night to have a bad night in the tournament.
All right, we've got our SummitCars.com spotlight interview. Let's talk about who's in the studio. First of all, TJ Bradford. What's up, TJ?
Oh, what's up?
There you go. David Moe. What's up, David?
How you doing?
Where's Gopple Rop? Gop.
Right here.
I love that. That's a good one. David Cifanelli. What's up, David?
Yeah, what's going on?
All right. And then who did I miss? Anybody? Who?
Gus O'Connell.
Where's Gus? Oh, yeah, Gus. What's up, Gus?
What's up?
Gus. And then there, of course, Phil Blackwell, ladies and gentlemen, from Eagle Newspapers. So let's get right to it. TJ, let's go to you first. You start out 3-3. Talk about late in December. What turned things around here?
We turned things around based off, we know how we could play, so we just came together as a team and started playing better, and that's what happened when we played better.
Gus, talk a little bit about that, too. So 3-3. What did Coach say to you guys? Because I'm guessing it wasn't, come on, fellas, let's play.
It wasn't we didn't have any bad games. We didn't have any bad games. We played good teams. We played Albany Academy, who's one of the best teams in the state, and we held in there. And after those games, we all just kind of we were mad that we lost because we felt like we should have only lost to Albany, but we came together and everyone found their role, and we got in that tunnel vision zone, and we just won 6 in a row after that.
Nice work. David, let's talk to you. I mean, your dad in your ear all the time and preaching to your what?
Yeah. Pretty much.
This is Bob McKinney, boy. You got to listen to me. Don't listen to that McKinney guy.
I mean, it helps that they think the same thing on most stuff.
So you're
I hear the same thing.
It just depends on what ear it goes in and what ear it goes out.
Yeah.
All right, Bob, let's talk about this. You end up improving, the most, I guess, compared to where you were last season. Talk about last season's team and now where you guys are at now. Having big guy in the middle, seems like you're starting to really peak where you want to peak and do what you want to do. How do the seasons compare? How do the teams compare?
Well, again, I think I don't know about doing what we want to do. We're trying to get better every day.
Yep.
We've had a pretty good week of practice. Sometimes when you get caught with a long week and a bye, you have trouble practicing. We struggled with that, I thought, a few weeks ago when we were off for a long time. But we've had a good week of practice. I think we're excited to be at it right now. Last year's team is very similar, I think, to this year's team, except we're a year more experienced. And probably one of the biggest differences, Jack Gutchis was our starting center as a freshman. Now he's a sophomore. With Gopp, we're able to play him more as a 4. Gopp, has really come a long ways. Unfortunately, he's had 2 ACL repairs on the same knee in my 4 years there, so he's missed a lot of court time. But he's starting to really play the way we knew he could play and make a difference in the middle as a 6'8".
I don't want to jump in on you, but I've heard people that have had that similar injury or surgery. Sometimes their kneecap actually is shaped a different way that can sever the tendon. Did the doctors ever say anything about him, or did you ever jump in? Is there any sort of information that the doctor said to you that says why you do it or why you did it a couple times?
No, really. It was just they just told me to just get stronger and just
keep getting stronger. And what did they do to fix it the first time and the second time?
They took like a tendon off my hamstring and used that the first time.
Okay.
The second time they used part of my forgot the patella tendon.
Oh yeah, in your kneecap. Yeah. Patella. Yeah. Wow.
And so I think the biggest thing for him is that its timing is back now, and he's got.
You're just playing, right?
Yeah, he's playing. He's got court time again, and that
right.
makes such a big difference. So and TJ and David are 2 of the best players in the area, and we just think we have a great surrounding cast. Gus comes off the bench for us. He could easily would start for many teams. Comes off the bench, and he's kind of our designated shooter. And Sif's arguably one of the best defensive players I've ever coached. So we just everybody's kind of, I think, over the course of this year kind of melded into where they fit, and then this time of year you hope you play your best basketball.
Yeah, David, talk a little bit about that with Coach David Moe. Talk about you're on this team and your scoring ability and what you need to do when you get on the court.
Well, we all just kind of have the mindset that we need to go out and just go 100% and play together no matter what. So.
And how's it been so far this season? What has Coach been kind of stressing to you?
Well, I've struggled.
Does he call timeout and say, let's score some buckets for me here?
Yeah, I've struggled sometimes, but my teammates are here always to pick me up in there. So that's been great.
That's good. Let's talk about the rotation, I guess, how deep things are. In the past, we've seen your teams go. I mean, I've seen like 10 deep, and really mixing things up. Talk about your theory or your philosophy on, I guess I would say, going deep, but also the way that you use players strategically, as I've seen many times. A guy will go in for 2 minutes and at a strategic time. Just talk about some of that coaching tactics.
Yeah, well, we're probably 10 deep again this year, and then we have, we have 5 kids that don't get to play as much. It's mostly just there's not enough time on the court, and they're all pretty good. So,
high school games too short?
Yeah.
I think so.
I'd love to see. Why not make it 9 minutes? As build another minute in.
I thought 10.
Well, I would prefer that. Too.
Yeah,
I was being realistic. So we think we think we're 10, 11 deep. We have played 10, 11 on and off all year. We just I try to look at the players and find a role I think that they could fill. And some games you need that role more, and some games you don't need it as much. And sometimes it's hard to get kids to buy in. This year's kids off the bench have been phenomenal. I think the younger kids know working every day against these guys is only going to help them for next year. So, but you also have a responsibility to build your program. And if your young kids never play in games and don't get any game experience, then the next year when you need them to fill big roles, I've always believed it's a little bit harder. So we've tried to find ways to use kids. We had my first year at Grimes, we only played 7 really because we kind of where we were. We were small in numbers at that point, and didn't have as much depth.
Started things out.
Yeah.
Totally normal. TJ, let's bounce to you. Obviously, in the game of basketball, and Bob and I both know this, and you guys obviously all know this, but one guy can take over a game. One guy can be the guy. You have the ability to be the guy. David has the ability to be the guy. Talk about that. Being able to kind of take over a game, feeling hot, doing your thing, scoring your buckets.
Even though we can take over the game, the whole team, as a team, we can just win.
Yeah.
So we don't really need to take over games, but when we need to get ourselves started, then we'll get ourselves started. And when we're hot, we're just let that player that's hot.
What's been your best game? What have you felt the best? Where you just give me the ball?
Probably not give me the ball moments, but I know what I'm feeling good that day.
Yeah.
But probably against Ludden, I feel like our team.
And are you saying Phoebe, the guys just know, just get him the ball?
Yeah, you could. Yeah,
I guess that's right too. You're right. Right. So there you go.
Yeah, Ludden was just great atmosphere.
You like creating for yourself, taking guys off the dribble, all that.
Yeah.
We kind of know when TJ gets hot, he'll come up and have that little smirk on his face, I'm about to dust this kid. And at Ludden, he dusted the kid and then dunked on him. So
Nice.
That's how it got.
Did you say something afterwards?
No.
You just said, "Hey, I just jumped over you." Exactly. All right. So you had 7 straight wins. Well, 8 wins, I guess, double since January. Talk about that state Final Four in 2016. And I guess I hate keep saying comparing things, but those streaks are important.
Yeah,
and winning's important. Like the ability to win and understand how to win.
Yeah, one of the things at a small school that's fun, we've had a great following. We had a great following that year, and now that we've started playing a little bit better, we're getting a great following here, and they really do become your sixth man when you're down at Ludden and your fans are going crazy, and it really makes a big difference. So, there's some similarities. I think, Class A now, not Class B. We're probably more talented with this team, but the teams that we're going to have to go against are a little more talented also. So, and that's not, I don't mean that to be a misrepresentation of Class B, because West Hill is one of the premier basketball schools in our area every single year, and you don't need to put a letter on that, and there's always great schools out of the B. But, the A's are strong this year, so so we know that, and it's going to be really fun going into the next week or so.
See what happens. Talking to Bishop Grimes here, Bob McKinney and his crew. David Cifanelli, let's bounce you here for a second. Let's talk about the fact that you guys haven't seen a ton of teams in Class A, right? And you look at the section, the playoffs, including ESM, which
don't get me started on that.
We'll get you on that for a second. You guys spending a lot of time scouting and looking at teams, or how's that been so far?
Yeah, all of our coaches are going out to a ton of games so we can see all the teams that we're going to have to play. And it's great when you have coaches like this that you can trust that they know what they're talking about. So we always know that we're going to get probably one of the best scouts coming into every game.
That's good. All right, Bob, let's go. Let's talk about the playoff structure.
Well, it's interesting. I felt bad 2 years ago when the kids that had been Class B all the way up through with really no new kids. We had two kids come in that were CYO kids at other schools, didn't even play on the school team. And we win once, and they've never won at the school, hadn't won in a while. And we win 1 year, and then the next year they're not in A anymore. They don't get a chance to even see if they could come back in the Bs
do the thing,
and maybe take it a step farther. So, the structure is interesting. I would have been disappointed when I was at JD to not have a chance to play Grimes and Ludden and CBA as part of our league, because I thought those are always really fun and exciting high school.
So
games.
It's unfair. I mean, it's not structured the right way.
It's just it's what really is interesting is it makes the point structure makes the playoff structure very interesting, because last year we're the 6th seed. Fowler has one of their best years ever, and they have to play us in the first round of the playoffs at Fowler. So it's all it's thrown out of whack having us play out and about all different schools. CBA and Ludden, you could argue.
Look at Whitesboro, the top seed. It's a good team, and look where they have to place right away. Auburn, who's red hot all of a sudden.
Exactly.
And they're playing really well right now. Just knocked off JD and ESM. Right. So, that's
CBA and SAS are 10 and 11. Would they have been 10 and 11 if they were playing in the A's?
Right.
I think it throws the balance of the playoff structure off a little bit. But it is what it is, and it's fun for us because we're playing an exciting schedule. We got to play Albany Academy and Johnson City and a team out of Buffalo and St. Francis, and we're getting a chance to travel around and play some great basketball schools. But when you get into the tournament, everything gets kind of
Phil, around. Jump in. Go ahead.
No, you take a look at ESM. Obviously, you're playing them on Tuesday. What do you learn from them? What do you need to do specifically against them to be successful as the team has been playing A teams all year?
Well, the homeschool kid that went back, Peterson, that went back to school really changed them. I mean, he's big. He blocks shots. He finishes pretty well around the basket. Their guards are young. They're talented. They shoot it. Number 5, Buffalo. Is it Buffalo, I think? Yeah, he really shoots it. You can't lose him. They play hard. They're I think exciting for the school to watch play right now. So it's a great first round test for us. We're excited. We'll try to defend them hard and make shots difficult. So,
anything else you got? All right, let's do some shout outs real quick. TJ, give me a shout out. Who do you want to give a shout out to? TJ Bradford.
I would shout out our team.
Good job.
Shout out the coaching staff.
What's been your best dunk this season? Was it over anybody?
My best dunk was probably this kid against Ludden. Yeah.
Dunked on him?
Yeah, he probably got it the worst this year.
Yeah. Did you have that on your video, All-Star?
That was a pretty good dunk.
Yeah.
Do you have that on video?
Yeah.
Did you watch it consecutively over and over again?
Not really. I got boring after a while.
Gus is the watch over.
When something happened, you guys post that stuff all over the place? Like when that Gus, do you is it all like on YouTube and you guys put it everywhere or what?
Not really. I mean, we're pretty humble with it.
That's good.
We don't, but the people that filmed at the games, our student section that were filming it on Humble,
and they put
they will put it everywhere. But
and plastic notes all over it and messages and say,
oh yeah, 100%.
It's so
if you
bad
get dusted
nowadays.
by anyone on our
it
team,
is horrible nowadays.
Yeah, his dunk goes out fast.
Oh my gosh. David, how about shout out? Where do you want to go, buddy? yeah, exactly. You better do your mom, TJ. Go.
Yeah, I'll shout out my mom.
All right, David Moe, how about you? Shout out.
Shout out to the fam, basketball team, coaching staff, and yeah.
All right, my guy Gop O'Rop. How about a shout out there?
I'd like to shout out my family.
Very nice.
Our basketball team.
All right, David Cifanelli, shout out.
Our team, coaches.
Your dad.
Family, dad especially, extra coach.
Not a boy. Mom, yeah.
Being everywhere.
Dog, cats, anything like that? No. Gus O'Connell, where do you want to go, pal?
Basketball team, my family, all my friends. I told my friend I'd do this. Follow my boy on SoundCloud, Little Woody.
Nice.
Big shout out there.
All right, Little Woody, yo. All right, good job. Guys, give yourselves a big round of applause.
But I got one.
Yeah, Bobby, go.
Yeah, we'll give a shout out to Coach Shunk and his family. They're burying their grandfather, who is a longtime sports advocate and friend of basketball, and been to all of Brendan's games as a player when I coached him, and came to so many of our home games and sat in the corner. So shout out to the Shunk family.
And God bless him in Jesus' name, amen. All right, boys, big round of applause. We're out of here. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
This is the Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show, brought to you by SummitCars.com.
All right, here we are back on the broadcast. Mike Bristol, Phil Blackwell. We're going to be talking about some bowling, which is going to be fun and exciting here. Bob McKenny and his crew just took off, and they've got a big game coming up as well. So let's talk about this last Sunday. Utica's Panorama is a particularly close race for the Section 3 Division I and Class A Boys Bowling Championships. We've got a bunch of great bowlers in studio from Liverpool. First of all, Zach Ormsby. What's up, Zach? What's happening? How are you? Say hello to everybody.
Good. How are you?
Good to have you in studio. So, Zach, what's the strongest part of your game, buddy?
Consistency.
Nice. Smart. Deacon Robertson. What's up, Deacon? Or it's Robertson, right?
Yeah.
What's up, Deacon?
Good. How are you?
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Talk about your game. What's the best part of your game?
I just being consistent, I guess.
Being consistent. How long have you been bowling for?
Since I was 8.
Were your parents great bowlers?
Yes, my dad was, and my mom was too.
Very cool. And how about Devin? What's up, Devin?
Not much. How about you?
Good to have you in studio. Appreciate you. What's going on?
Not much.
Just hanging out? Yeah. Talk about your bowling game.
I guess I'm pretty good at being able to adjust.
Nice. Very good. Just so things happen, you got to switch things up. You're going to switch your ball up. What? Give me an example of adjustment.
Being able to like move left to right from like my normal shot, being able to stay on my line, consistency, and being able to be coachable.
Very good. Very good. Josh, what's going on, Josh?
Not much. How about you?
Winsons?
Yep.
That's how I pronounce it?
Yep.
Talk about your game.
Staying calm, switching balls a lot.
Your dad's raising his hand.
That's not my dad.
Oh, who's that? Your coach?
No.
Who's that? He's giving you what's this thing?
3 shots.
Oh, 3 shots. Okay. All right. Logan, what's up, Logan Herman?
Doing great.
What's
doing
happening?
Great.
What's happening?
Doing fantastic, man.
You're in shorts in the winter.
It's the usual thing. I mean, if it gets down to 0, I might wear pants.
Yeah, just depends, but most of the time you like wearing your shorts.
Fantastic. It's still summer if I feel like it.
All right, so let's talk about this real quick. Liverpool Warriors, you guys were able to hang on. You beat the home team Utica Proctor 20 pins. Zach, talk about that. 20 pins, a close one.
Yeah, I was pretty nervous at the end there.
So what was happening in the end? Kind of give us a little play-by-play. What happened?
Well, we struggled late. We were able to come back, and the 10th frame, we had a couple opens. I had to come through. And I struggling through most of the day, so it was great to be able to come through.
So you stepped up your game focus, and you did what you had to do.
Yeah.
Very nice. Deacon, talk about that. Those final frames as well.
I know through the 7th and 9th frames, I wasn't doing too good. I was opening, but I was able to leave a mark in the 10th frame, which got the win a little bit. Secured the win better for our team.
All right, Devin, talk about the final frames as well.
So I didn't even know we were like that close because I asked my coach and he told me don't worry about it. So honestly, I was just.
Did you think you guys were already up? Everything was fine, or
yeah,
were you like,
I thought everything was fine, but it turned out that it was only 20 pin difference. So you just kind of pulled it out.
Josh, what was the closest that you guys have had? Closest win, closest margin?
I think that was our closest win.
Ever that you've actually competed to? So did you know it was that close?
Yeah.
So you knew the whole time. You knew what was going on.
And
all
I
that kind of
threw a
stuff.
split the last frame. I thought I messed it up.
Oh, man, really? Luckily you didn't. You guys are a team, so that stuff happens. Go ahead. Ormsby, what were we going to say? Or Zach, did you raise your hand? Were you going to say something?
Oh, no, I was just putting up 3 shots.
Oh, the 3 shots
shot
again.
wins it.
Gotcha. 3 shot takes care. Logan, so you're there. You guys are making things happen. Talk about it.
Yeah. Most important part about being there for your team, you got to keep them confident, keep them good. Because honestly, when you get into that last frame, it gets nerve-wracking. It feels like you got 2 dead weights on your hand when throwing the ball.
Right.
It's really nerve-wracking.
Zach, tell us about how satisfying it is to win in Utica, Proctor's home lanes, in front of that crowd. It's got to be an incredible feeling.
It was incredible. They had a lot of fans there. They were all loud, yelling right in our face. So I was happy to be able to bury a strike right in front of them.
Deacon, talk about that as well, being in Utica and doing your thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's been our goal to win a sectional championship, like ever since we've been on the team, and now that we've did it, now it's states. You got to get ready.
Devin, what was Coach saying to you guys here? Going into Proctor, bowling there. What was the discussion like?
He usually just tells us to be the doofy team we are, and to don't get too rowdy and stuff like other teams are, to keep our cool and keep our heads. So that's what we did, and we ended up winning.
So Josh, you pull out this win. What was it like afterwards?
Incredible. Bowled for 4 years on the team. Finally got a sectionals win. Feels awesome.
And talk about your commitment level and how much time you're spending and working on your game.
Practicing almost every day, trying to stay consistent.
Where do you guys practice? Where do you play the most?
Flamingo Lanes.
Yeah. Now, do you mix up the services and all that kind of stuff to try to mimic any other lanes you guys bowl in, or just
just the house pattern?
House pattern, yeah. Logan, let's bounce you here for a second. You look at overall what this team has accomplished. Talk about the leadership role and what it's been like as one of the leaders on the team.
Leadership role is really important because as you get older and things get more challenging, as more and more people leave because they become seniors, it becomes a bigger weight on your shoulders to inspire other people of future generations to be able to pull through and make a greater impact on your history as a team in a whole.
Yeah, that's really good. We've got our SummitCars.com spotlight interview, and we're talking here with Liverpool bowling squad. I want to bounce real quick, Zach. Let's talk about you guys lead in the first game. You absorb kind of the bad game. You rebound a little bit. All sorts of different stages in this. Talk a little bit about all the ups and downs.
Well, we came out fast early. We were able to come through with a strong first game. got caught in the transition a little bit. We struggled to find a new line, get lined up again, but once we were able to line up again, came right through again.
All right, when you guys are starting to kind of, feel these ups and downs, I guess as a team, are you able to kind of, stop for a second, collectively get together, or is this something within the game you guys have to kind of make changes and make happen?
Throughout the second game, we really had to make a lot of changes. Lanes were changing on us, and we knew we were going to struggle at some point in the second or third game.
Deacon, talk about some of those changes or some of those strategies or differences or things that you had to kind of, change on the fly.
My second game, I just lost my whole entire line, and being in sectionals, you gotta be able to cool yourself down and regroup and be able to find your line again. And by the fourth game, I came back with a 200 game, and I know that would be a good thing for our team. And being able to do that, it just takes a lot to be able to regroup after being so frustrated. Yeah. About having such a low game, at a sectional championship. It's a big thing.
Devin, talk about how you find your line again, or talk about how it gets thrown off and then you got to redirect and refocus, and how amazing that is to really be able to do that.
So,
and how do you particularly do it? Would you take us through kind of these are the 3 things you do, or the 4 things you do, or how do you get it?
So usually you stand where you normally stand, and then you shoot your ball. And if it usually hits high or low, you move right or left. And then if it starts hitting the pocket, then you stay there. And once it starts, hitting too high again, then you try and move left or right. But if it doesn't work, then you might switch to another ball, or you might try a whole different kind of approach. Approach sort of. And once you kind of find it again, it's pretty much rinse and repeat. And once you keep getting 200 games for your team, it's pretty good. And
keep it rolling. Don't change it.
Yeah.
Josh, let's talk about you. 266 in the third game. Zach, you had I think it was 247 in that game. Talk about getting in the groove, doing your thing, and throwing down 266.
That game, I stayed very consistent. Threw him the same shot the whole game. The first couple of frames, I was messing up. I lost my shot in the second game, but I came back
and did your thing. Zach, 247, talk about the same thing.
Second game was a lot of transition going on, just trying to find something for the third game to be able to, throw a good game. And I was just able to find a line, stay consistent.
And that's what you did. Logan, lane conditions similar to home, or what was it like?
It was mainly a house oil pattern. It was if you gave it would be like if you gave a house oil pattern and then just beefed it up. So that even though it was the same, it was just more difficult.
Faster? What kind of explain?
Everything just felt longer because the oil pattern was thicker in the beginning of the lane for about 24 feet. Then it began to drop off to around the 45-foot area, and then you got that last 15 feet of no oil. So it hooks right perfectly.
Wow, very
right
cool.
At that end.
All right, let's talk about this. You guys had regular season. Which match, I guess, would tell you that you really had a special season here underhand? Was there something that you guys knew, okay, this is going to be pretty cool? Josh, was there a particular match, particular whatever, that you guys kind of looked at things and said, hey, we're a special team here?
Our last match when we beat FM, I think it was, blew them out all 3 matches, or all 3 games.
You're like, okay, things are working here. Things are peaking. Things are working. Devin, how about you and Deacon? A particular match, particular whatever that you felt like, okay, this is a special team.
I don't know. I don't think we really. Well, we did beat FM, but we lost to CNS both times. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like we just played our game during sectionals and we ended up pulling it out. So I guess we just had it in us. We just didn't really bring it out during the games during CNS. So we didn't really know. It kind of just happened.
Gotcha. Yeah. Phil, do you have something? You want to talk about the state tournament?
Yeah, state tournament's going to be at Strike and Spire. You've played there many times, I'm sure. How big of an advantage is it to be on pretty familiar lanes for the big a tournament as that is?
All right, so let's go right down the lane. Logan, let's go to you first, and we'll go right down.
How I honestly feel about these lanes is this is the house that I shot my first 700 on, so I got a real good feeling about this place. Real good feeling.
Josh, how about you?
whenever I go there, I bowl pretty good, so I'm confident.
You like it, Devin?
I think these lanes are going to be pretty easy. They're good, though. I'm good at adjusting to them, so I feel like I'm going to have a good set here.
Beautiful. Deacon?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident because both me and Devin have bowled there plenty of times.
All right, Logan, how about you? Or, excuse me, Zach, how about you?
I just take it one match at a time. I don't know if I'm a struggler or not. Just get there, show up, and see what happens.
Do your thing. I like it. Phil, one more thing. Go ahead.
And one more thing, we got to mention Brandon Davis, right? Because he was, I mean, he shared top individual honors in the sectional tournament. How good was he on Sunday?
Who wants to take it?
He was great. I mean, he struggled during our practices on this pattern, was able to come through when it mattered, so.
Good stuff all around. All right, let's go right. Zach, let's do some shout-outs. Who you want to give a shout-out to?
Just everyone listening to, mom, dad, grandparents. What's going on, guys?
Beautiful. Deacon, how about you? Shout out. Where do you want to go?
Shout out to my family and my dad, Dietrich. Love you.
All right. Devin, how about you?
Shout out to my family, my friends, Ron, Chris from Connecticut, my grandparents, my friends, my girlfriend for helping me.
Holy cow, he's giving the girlfriend a shout out. Josh, how about you?
Shout out to my mom and dad for coming and supporting me.
All right, very nice. Logan.
Shout outs to my older brother Peter Herman. Happy birthday, man. You turned 17 and you still don't have a car.
Oh, boy. Great job, you guys. Thanks for coming in studio. Incredible job. Liverpool squad. Give yourselves a big round of applause in studio. And thank your videographers here. Everybody, your parents, everybody hooking you guys up. All right, we'll be right back. This is ESPN Radio on 97.7 and 100.1.
This is the Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show, brought to you by SummitCars.com.
All right, here we are back on it, and Rob Seichen and his crew in studio. Coach, what's going on? How are you?
Not too bad. How's it going this morning?
Good to have you in here. So let's talk about the squad so far. What have you been happy with? What have you been kind of like, hey, we got to fix this?
We got to fix rebounding. They know that.
You're all over boxing out or what?
Yeah, all over boxing out. Yes, we have a few consequence things that we do if we don't box out. We're not very large, so we have to do everything right on the box outs.
So I'm frustrated that my boy Bill O'Keefe is not in studio. Where's O'Keefe?
I'm sure he's listening.
So he's coaching. Tell me about his coaching abilities and how he's done for you.
He's done great. He came in last year. You know, it's tough handling practice every day.
Yeah.
People don't realize how challenging that is. He came in last year, learned the ropes, so to speak, and this year I think he did a great job with the group of kids that he had. They were. I don't think they lost a league game, did they?
Look at that.
I don't think they did.
Kiefer's a winner.
Yeah.
All right. Gabby, is it Stickle?
Yes.
What's up, Gabby?
Nothing much.
Great to have you in studio. Yeah, get close to that microphone. Talk about this team so far.
I'm happy with our effort so far. We've had a lot of new people, so we've had to adjust, but I'm really glad with how the season's played out so far.
All right, Momo LeClaire. What's up, Momo?
Nothing much.
Talk about the team as well. How you feel?
I feel good. I think everyone stepped up with all the new players, and we adjusted really well.
All right, Andrea Samita. What's up, Andrea?
Nothing.
So you're on the squad. What have you enjoyed the most here?
I've just enjoyed all the time that we've had traveling to different away games and everything, and the fun that we have in practice with the new girls coming on the team, kind of getting used to everything, and then just welcome them into everything that we're doing.
That's good. Paige Keeler, what's up, Paige?
Nothing much.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
So, what does this team improve the most with this season?
Getting down the court because we're very
transition
fast.
game or
Yes.
what? Okay.
We've gotten a lot better at that.
Tell me about your transition game. You guys like to get out and run and gun, right?
Yes, very fast.
Coach, is that something that is a big focus in practice?
Yeah, I mean, well, we work on it a little bit, but we're naturally a fast team this year, so it kind of it's innate. Sometimes we're trying to get the kids in the right spots when we go down the floor.
Yeah.
We have a couple kids. Paige, I think, has had a few games where she's had 5, 6, 7, 8 wide open layups because she beats people down the floor. We just throw it ahead.
Sid Baker, what's up, Sid?
Nothing much.
I was told that I had to call you Sid Baker.
I mean, Sydney's okay, but
You prefer
that's
Sid.
my in trouble name.
It's like Sydney.
Yeah.
Your parents do that to you? Tell me about Coach and the girls and this team.
I think we've had a great season. We've all bonded really well. It's shown on the court and off the court, I feel like. And again, the younger kids have definitely stepped up, which we've needed them to step up. And yeah, this season's been going really well. So
I want to keep sticking with you here. So, Sid, let's. We've got our SummitCars.com studio interview. You look at, I guess, so many of the key parts of this state championship team. You know, with Meg, Jamie, and Casey. Talk about now how you girls are stepping up and doing your thing.
We definitely lost. Well, we lost them, and it was a hard, loss for them. But the younger kids have stepped up mainly, and in practice, we've just put all of our effort in, and they have helped us become better players by their effort, and we're trying to make them become better players too along the way.
So, Rob, how many times have you answered that question? Hey, Meg, Jamie, Casey, Meg, Jamie, Casey.
This is the first time anyone's ever asked us that.
We're brilliant here.
They obviously were a part of that run that started it. They were there for 5 years, and these kids sitting right here were part of the transition. And we talk about their legacy, this group's legacy here. They don't want it just to be the Meg, Casey, Jamie regime.
Yep.
They want to make their own stamp on the program. They've been working their tails off to do that.
Let's talk about Momo. Let's go to you, just because I like that name.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the young group and developing, the rotations and, and obviously no single player, being responsible or being like the main whatever. Talk about kind of like everybody stepping up and doing their thing.
I think that the younger girls were probably a little bit scared coming up, but everyone adjusted really well and helped them come up. And they put a lot of effort in practice, which helps us too, because a lot of our best competition actually comes in practice. So we push each other there, and everyone gets better.
All right. Gabby, you look at, I guess, defensively has always been a vocal point of JD teams, and coaches talked about that often here on the program or wherever it might be. Talk about your defense and, how much it means to you, especially in the transition game.
Well, we often hear sergeants say defense wins games, so that's obviously a big thing we focus on. That's our main priority.
He created that slogan.
Yeah.
I'm creative like you, yeah. Defense wins championships, right?
All right, Rob, talk about your defense and all the stuff you guys do and mix up and work on and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we do. We have mixed it up a little bit this year based upon the opponents that we have. We're definitely undersized, but we try to use our speed and quickness and our smarts in some of the defense we play. So we'll play man, we'll play a couple different zones, try to do them a little bit differently depending on what the opponent likes to do.
Has this been a season where you've tried more and mixed things up more just because of the clientele, the kids you have? I mean, the younger...
Definitely. Trying to find puzzle pieces that fit.
Yeah.
We have our idea of who was going to be what coming in, but we've had to move some things and people in different defensive positions that, they're better at one thing versus another. Even coming into the last game, we're still trying to find... Obviously, we have 5 here that are experienced that have been here for a long time, but trying to find those 6, 7, 8, 9 players and, what roles they're going to play and what position they can come in and help us with.
Paige, let's go to you for a second and talk about, I guess, trying to feed the person who's got the hot hand. I mean, is that kind of a focal point at certain times? You're trying to get certain girls creative, certain girls in the mix, certain girls to really step up and play. I mean, whoever's hitting shots, trying to get them the ball.
Yeah, we like to set flare screens or certain screens to get that person open because we're not giving them the ball if they're making it.
Yeah, no, I got you. Andrea, let's go to you here for a second. I guess it has been difficult at times for, I guess, any of the players to step up on the offensive side because you guys move the ball so well. There's no one really selfish on this team. Everyone's really unselfish with the ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the thing. When someone's getting hot or something, we always look to get them the ball. And if someone's not having a good shooting day, we look to get someone else the ball, or they create an open shot for someone else, and that's how we're so successful offensively.
That's one of the things I made up. That whoever has the hot hand, you give them the ball. So that's pretty. It's pretty original. Let's also go to Sid.
Yeah.
Let's bounce to you again for a second.
Okay.
Shenandoah, Pittsford, Mendon, Bishop Kearney, twice.
Yes.
Talk about the schedule. Yeah.
I mean, they're really good teams, and playing them definitely helped us a lot. We got to see what we need to focus on going forward in our season. I'm really happy we played them, even though the outcome wasn't what we wanted. We definitely got to see what we need to work on.
Did your guys' JV coach Bill O'Keefe bring you guys all a Christmas gift of spa chemicals this year or anything like that? Anything interesting?
We wish.
Rob, Shenandoah, Pittsford, Mendon, Bishop Curie, blah, 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 blah. Talk about that. It's great.
Yeah, those are the games where we get tested. You go play. It was great. We walked into Mendon, and they had a full gym. They actually had to open up more bleachers for the second half. So that's an environment we don't see a lot locally.
Right.
They're very good. They challenge you and make you do things. Shen and Kearney, I think, are both teams that are going to be in the Final Four, AA. Shen, that's going to be a battle for Section 3. I'm not that I'm throwing CNS or West Jenny under the bus there, but she does. But they're good, and then we went up to Bishop Girton and we played a team. I think they said they haven't lost a game in like 4 years or something like that.
Wow.
They were probably the best team we played all year. They were the most complete team we played.
You look at, and Gabby, let's go to you here for a second. You look at, I think there's a little bit more pressure going into the postseason when some might figure that JD can get knocked off by Ludden or someone else. Talk about the pressure going in.
Yeah, obviously our success has made it like that much more.
Target these guys.
Yeah, pressure on us because we have won the past 3 years. So coming into postseason. 7 years in sectionals. Yeah.
7? Is that what you said?
6 or 7 sectionals.
Rob, you would know. What are the stats?
I think it's 7.
7.
Yeah.
I know O'Keefe will know. Momo, talk about that, the pressure going in.
We definitely have a target on our backs, but I think it just motivates us and helps us focus even more because we want to win.
Yeah. Andrea, your thoughts?
Yeah, same thing as Momo. It just motivates us even more to play our hardest and go out and beat these teams and hopefully get back to where we were the past couple of years.
All right, let's keep it going down. Paige, your thoughts?
The same thing. It just motivates us.
Motivate.
Really.
Sid.
I guess
Give me something good, Sid.
We don't want to be that team to lose
Yeah.
in sectionals because we've had a great past and we want to continue it moving forward, I guess. But we have a big game on Tuesday that we're preparing for right now, and Whitesboro, and
The Borough.
Yeah.
It was in the finals last few years.
Right. Rob, would this be the most satisfying of wins to win it all?
I don't know if it's most satisfying. Every group is unique. These guys have put in their kind of blood, sweat, and tears into this year to not be that team. Like we talked before about those three, Casey, Jamie, and Meg. They want to do what they want to put their mark on it. And they know. And we've talked about everybody thinks that we're vulnerable. So they're going to get everybody's even better shot, so to speak, if that's possible. So they've worked hard.
All right, let's do some shout-outs, girls. Incredible job here. First of all, let's go to Gabby. Gabby, who do you want to give a shout-out to?
Shout out Scotty G.
Is that a boyfriend?
No.
That's our assistant coach.
I got you. Momo. How about you, Momo? Shout out.
Shout out the rest of the team.
Work. Andrea, shout out.
Shout out, caught it.
All right. Paige, how about you?
Also, shout out to Kaveh. I don't.
All right. Who's that, by the way?
Assistant coach.
Oh, another assistant. All right. Sid, how about shout out, Sid?
I'm going to shout out to Trainer Dave.
Trainer Dave. All right. Coach, how about you? Shout out. Where we going, Coach?
Well, we got to shout out Billy O'Keefe. He wasn't here. He can't leave him out, and my family as well. I'm sure my daughter's listening, so she's going to say all kinds of things when I get home.
How you did on the interview?
Yeah, see how I did on the interview, and, be mad that I said that Shen might be better. So
your daughter was in studio when? A month ago, yeah, so we're talking about that. She's good. All right, very, very cool. All right, you guys, Syracuse Legend Shows on deck. I've got Raphael Addison coming on the program. We've got, who else is coming on? Roosevelt Bowie, and I think Lawrence Moten. So we'll be right back with that. But a big round of applause for Wegmans winning Smile interview members of the JD girls basketball team. Give yourselves a big round of applause. All right, ESPN Radio 97.7 100.1. 97.7 100.1. 97.7 100.1.